Hey, it's Leah here, and this is the Online Musician Marketing Strategies video. In this lesson, we're going to cover what it is that we're actually after in marketing our music and in what order we need to do things in order to actually make it work and to be successful and in order to monetize our music. And there's a certain way that we need to do it, and there's definitely a right and a wrong order to put things. Otherwise, we're going to be all over the place. It's going to be chaos, and we're not going to get the results that we really want. So hang in here, take some notes. We're going to be going through this information fairly quickly, and this is really going to give you a big picture idea of what we're trying to do, what we're trying to achieve when we are marketing our music online. So this is the first thing that we are after. It's objective number one, is we want to get high quality fans on your Facebook like page. Okay, before you do any other kind of Facebook ads, before you do anything else, this is the first objective. Before you start even pimping out your Twitter page or anything like this, this is how you're really going to drive specific targeted fans to your music. This is how we're going to find them. This is the very first thing that you need to do. It's putting the cart before the horse to think about releasing a big album or spending money on radio promotions or a press release before you have a healthy, robust group of highly targeted diehard fans that you can even market to. And by the way, people often spend $30,000, $50,000 on radio and promotion and press releases. Just to give you a ballpark figure of what people typically spend on this. You could spend a fraction of that amount of money and do it this way that I'm going to show you, and you will get far better results. Okay? Releasing an album or doing press release and promotions is not going to create a buzz all by itself. It's only part of the equation after you already have a die-hard fan base, okay? You need fans first before you can create a buzz. So if you were to make an album and then do a big press release, that's not going to create a buzz. You might get some awareness, but that might not translate into CD sales. And we really want CD sales. We want music sales. We want those royalties. So you've got to have that fan base first. And so this is a key part of the puzzle to making sure we have that in place first. Now, with these fans that we're driving to our new Facebook page, or maybe it's an old one, we're going to create a culture and a community of like-minded people. You want fans that you'd actually enjoy hanging out with, because like attracts like. Now, this might be different than what you've heard before, but this could involve posting content on your page that don't have much to do with your music at all. But it's creating a specific kind of community, like 80 to 90% of the time. So your music is really just a part of that whole culture, and it's going to fit in with it. And I want you to follow the 10 Commandments of Facebook, that diagram that I created for you. So if you even check out my Facebook page, I'm not promoting my music every single time I'm posting. I'm only posting my music a small percentage of the time. I'm only posting promotional materials a small percentage of the time. The rest of the time, I'm building a community of like-minded people that I'd actually enjoy hanging out with. Then you can run targeted ads to your like page. This should be one of the first things that you do. This is how you're going to get those people, right? Until you have at least 3,000 to 10,000 people on your page and you're getting consistent engagement every day. Engagement means you're getting likes, comments, and shares on every post that you do. If you're not getting likes, comments, and shares, you need to consider a few things. You need to, first of all, you don't get a lot of activity until you get that number, usually around 3,000 people. Then you start getting a little more, then you start getting more people, and you'll start to notice more engagement and people interacting with your posts. And the second thing is, if you do have that amount of people and you're not getting much action, it's because you're not posting frequently enough, or you need to reconsider the type of content that you're putting up and what kind of culture you're creating. You need to be deliberate about it. Don't just wing it. You need to actually write down what kind of culture do you want to create, and then make your posts align with that. All right. So then after you've done this, your freemium ads, this is the ad you're going to post to a free song later, that will work much better. Okay. So You don't want to run an ad to a free song and say, look how awesome my music is, if you only have 200 likes on your page. That doesn't give you a lot of credibility. I'm not saying you couldn't do that. You could, but I think it will work so much better for you if you already have a few thousand people on your page. It gives you more credibility. And then when you offer your email opt-in or your offer once a day or a few times a week on your actual page, then you're going to have more people from your actual page joining your list and buying your music. I hope that makes sense. Now, the second objective is building your email list. This is, you've heard me say it before, but email is currency. Email is gold. This is what you need to really, really focus on. If you don't have an email list, you don't have a music business. And this is how it is for books too. Like authors who try to just publish a book by themselves, like publishers won't even look at you unless you have 50,000 followers on Facebook and 50,000 followers on Twitter, on each platform. You need a huge following and an email list. Like if you don't have 10,000 emails or more, maybe 50,000, they won't look at you, because if you don't have, they know email list translates into sales. So this is what I'm encouraging you to do. And some musicians are starting to catch on to this, but a lot of people have not known this. All right. So while you're building your like page full of those super targeted fans, you're also going to run a separate Facebook ad that goes to your free song opt-in page, that landing page we've talked about. Now this, like I said before, it works so much better if you already have a few thousand fans on your Facebook page. And the answer is because of, it gives you credibility, right? If you've got 12 likes, and then, because when they see your ad in their news feed, they're going to hover over your band name and they'll see how many likes you have. If they're like, if you got 12 likes, then they're probably not going to download it. So we want to get targeted fans to our Facebook page that we can market to every single day. Now, the key in all of this is to make sure that your targeting is bang on, okay? You don't want whoever joining your Facebook page. You don't want irrelevant fans joining your email list just for the sake of numbers. That's a total waste of your money. You only want the highest quality fans that are going to be addicted to your music and will become your new super fans. Now, how do you make sure your targeting is bang on? It's through the research that I've taught you how to do. And I've got worksheets for you on exactly the things that you need to be considering in your research. And I show you how to do that, especially using Facebook Audience Insights, the way I teach you in the Facebook Ads Training Part 1 and 2. Now, the third objective that we have in our music career is to build relationship and rapport. All right, the whole entire point of building that super targeted Facebook page and a super targeted email list is not to just blast them with our promotions all day. That's not going to work. We have to build relationship. So we need to develop real rapport with our new potential superfans, because some of them haven't converted to actually buying anything yet. We need to woo them. You got to think of it as like a dating relationship. This is key to what separates us as indie artists from artists that are on big labels, because big labels have a lot of money to saturate the market and make people really familiar with a song, so that hopefully people will go and buy it. You know, if you hear it on the radio enough times, you're just like, oh yeah, I guess I kind of like that song. But you don't actually necessarily like it. You're just used to it. You've heard it a lot. But we don't have that kind of money laying around, or at least I don't. So we need to actually focus on a special relationship with our fans. That's why people are buying. Okay, they need to like our music, but they need to like who we are as people and what we're all about, what we stand for. That's really what they're buying into, not just the music. And that's really what's separating us. This is an important point. You need to understand that your band logo, your little emblem or whatever, that's not your brand. Your brand is who you are and what you stand for. Your music is an extension of who you are and what you stand for. So when your fans think of your band name, lots of different things should come to mind, not just your music. And in fact, I did a little experiment just the other day to prove this point. And I randomly asked my fans, hey, what comes to mind when you think of my music? And I took a few screenshots of what they said. Now pay attention to this, because what they describe is what they perceive to be my brand. And you're going to notice that it's not all about my music. Okay, so here was the post, and I said, fun exercise. When you think of the music project Leah, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Could be anything. And notice how conversational I am. I'm not referring to myself in the third person. They know it's me typing. And you'll see I got over 1,000 likes. I had 28 shares. People just sharing this question. That's kind of funny, right? And like 109 comments. That's a lot of engagement. That is a fantastic engagement for a post. Now, some of the stuff that people said, you're going to see words. You can go and look up this post if you go to my photos. Here's some of the key words that kept popping up over and over again. Lady, beauty, beautiful, voice, motivation, workouts, princess, Celtic, timeless landscapes. Now, why would that be? It's because of the photos that I post all the time that inspire me. Medieval buildings, power, Celtic metal, enchanting, castles, battle, Celtic history, magical, and so on. That's so interesting to me because that's my brand. Now, I didn't originally start out thinking that was going to be my brand. It took me a while to kind of find my groove and really find, where do I fit in? What is my brand? When people think of me, how do I want them to perceive my brand? And then by the content I started posting on my Facebook page, I started creating that. And I started creating that in the form of a culture. And so I post things that only inspire me and the things that I want people to think of me. When they think of me, they're going to think of the stuff I post. And so that's what you really need to think about. Ultimately, it's who you are, what you stand for, and what you put in front of your audience is the kind of people you're going to attract. So if I'm posting stuff about castles and someone on there doesn't like castles, they can unlike my page. Good, we don't want them. Make sure that what you put out to the world is what you actually want coming back to you. So if you post a lot of negative stuff, you're going to get a lot of negative people. You can create whatever kind of culture that you want, and that's going to become part of your whole music brand. All right, so you're going to use photos, articles, your own thoughts and ideas, quotes that you find, your own music, other people's music, video clips, movie trailers, any kind of media on your Facebook page is going to draw certain kinds of people as they begin to like, share, and comment. And when they are liking, sharing, and commenting, that's what shows up in their news feed and their friends' news feed. Okay, so if I go to your page and I like your photo, because your page is public and I liked your photo, that's going to show up in my news feed. And basically all my friends, my entire network can see that I liked your post. And that's how we grow our page organically. That's how we get organic traffic. Not that that's the most important thing in the world, but it sure helps a lot. And it helps usually, people have like-minded friends. So if your friend likes your page because you're really into Star Wars or something, and that's part of your whole culture, a lot of times that Star Wars fan probably has a lot of friends and family members who are into that same thing too, because, great minds think alike. So you're going to get more fans. That's what's going to happen. Now, our fourth objective is giving our fans the opportunity to purchase or support you because they love you. Now, after we've already done the work to understand ourselves and our music in depth, you've got to be super clear on this. You've understood your specific target audience and connected the dots there between number one and number two. If you don't have those dots connected, it won't work. And number three, after we've been directing our super targeted traffic through our Facebook ads to our like page and a separate one to our email list, and through those processes, we've been building relationship and rapport with our new fans. We now have the right to promote our music and products. That's how this is working. This is a special privilege, by the way, that we need to not take for granted. By now, we've put in the time to kind of woo our new potential fans. Now we've earned the right to promote, okay? It's a dating relationship. You don't propose on the first date. You take your time, usually. And there might be a few people that maybe they elope, right? And I've had lots and lots of people find my music and buy on day one, okay? That'd be like eloping. You go into Vegas or something. But usually people date for a while before they get married. And so that's what this is. This is a kind of a dating relationship. If you think of this in that way, this makes so much more sense. Now, we've made sure that we're super connected to the right fans, and we've taken the time to research and connect with people. We're not leaving our Facebook page, like posting stuff and then people are commenting and then never talking back. That's rude. If you had a storefront and people came into your coffee shop, would you ignore them and just let them buy coffee and then not talk to them again? That would be rude. We need to actually say, hey, how's it going? Thanks for commenting. Thanks for sharing, and talk back. And then we've given our music away for free for them, Like if you owned a coffee shop and they gave you a free cup of coffee, you would always remember that. You're like, wow, they didn't have to do that. I know it didn't cost them tons of money, but it was a kind gesture and I appreciate it and I remember that. And I'm probably going to be a faithful customer for like the rest of my life. And now that we have that relationship with them, we can ask them for a sale. And by the way, you can do this from the first email. Like I said, there are people who want to elope. But it's got to be done in a no pressure and casual way. And I'll give you an example of that. So I first want to talk to you about what you need to do in that first email that your new fan gets. Number 1, you're going to give them their free download. Number 2, tell them about who you are, where you're from. Number 3, give them a little short bio, something interesting. This is kind of tying into what you're all about. Something that they will remember. Don't give them a book. Just give them a short paragraph. And number 4, give them a few links to your top 2 social media platforms. Just pick the 2 that you've chosen to dominate. Don't give them 12 different platforms. And then your website where you can offer them more of your music to purchase. So don't make this email too long. This is about whetting their appetite. We are in the dating phase. If they choose to elope, that's totally great. But don't assume that that's what they're going to do. The first thing you need to do in this initial email is decide on the subject line. Now, my subject line says exactly what they're getting from me, so that just in case it lands in the wrong Gmail tab or it ends up in their spam for some reason, they're going to know what it is right away when they see it. So my subject line says Celtic Metal Downloads. That's my niche, and I tell them what it is. And I actually use the exact same wording in the subject line as I use in my ad headline, you'll notice. So it says free Celtic Metal download. And it's also the same wording I use on my landing page. And by using the same wording, this is building some continuity, and continuity helps to build trust with your fans. And so I also wanted to add, when an ad is working well for you, just leave it alone, okay? Because every time you change something in the creative part of it, so this part here in the text or the photo, it resets all your likes and shares and comments on that ad. And so you'll notice here, this ad was created just a few weeks ago and it got several hundred likes, like we're upward of 1,000, it's probably 1,000 a day. Lots of shares, great comments from people. And so this helps kind of establish reputation, clout, trust, rapport, so that when new people see this ad in their feed and they see all this amazing feedback, they're so much more likely to click and enter in their email. They know you're the real deal. So you want to keep it. If it's working, let it go. Just let it keep going and just build up all those likes and shares. 230 shares. That's free. I did not pay for those shares. People are doing that all on their own. That's what you want. And here's the same wording that I'm using in my landing page. When they click on that ad, this is where they go. And you'll notice that the words here are describing my micro niche. And I'm also telling them how it's going to make them feel. I'm telling them this is a blend of these different elements. And they're going to get all of that, and it's going to take you to another world. So what's really happening is I'm telling them this is your escape. My music is going to help you escape. And escape for a lot of people means de-stressing, like getting out of the moment right now, this crazy, stressful world, and just putting on your headphones and feeling good for a few minutes. That's what I'm telling them my music is going to do for them. And then I tell them that it's free. Now, this is my first email. Here's what my new fan sees when they first open my email. I give them a nice greeting. Hey, I'm Leah. It's a pleasure to meet you. And I say meet in air quotes because it's email, right? But it's kind of like shaking their hand in a way, digitally. And then I give them a big picture of me, and then I give them the songs I promised. And I also give them instructions as to what they need to do to listen to the song or save the songs on their desktop. I do this right in MailChimp, but you can do it through Megaphone. If you have more than one song, you can create a zip file and upload it to Megaphone. But the only thing about that is just remember that if they're on a mobile device, they won't be able to download a zip file and listen to it that way. So that's why I do it in their email, because if they click on a link in here and they're on their mobile device, it'll stream it right away, but they can also save it on their desktop. So that's what I do, but there's more than one way to do this. So below that, this is what is below that photo. I tell them what each song is called and which album it's from. It's basically a sampler that I've put together for them. And then I tell them what other people think about it, what other fans. And I do this is not for the sake of bragging. It's so to let them know that they are among a like-minded community of people who all enjoy my music and we all enjoy some of the similar things. So I'm already starting to tell them, you're a part of this. You're a part of something. You're not just some random person. Like, we're connecting because we have a lot in common. And then you'll see all my social links at the bottom. I've got a few of the places they can find me. Then I sign off at the end. I give them a fun fact in the PS. And then in the PPS, which is kind of silly, but I do it, I also give them an opportunity to join my fan club. If they're immediately addicted, they want to elope on the first date, and they want all my music and more for a really good price, you never know, because this might be the only email they ever open. And if I don't give them that opportunity, they might not ever see another email from me. So I want them to have that opportunity to elope if they want to. And then below that, I give them all my crucial links. Now, if you decide to give information in the PS part, or like your buying information, do it in a casual way. Like, if you like these tunes, there's more where that came from, and that sort of a way. And the reason PSs work well, and that's where you want to put it, is because a lot of times people will just skim over a whole email, but they always stop and read the PS at the bottom for some reason, because the PS is like the most important thing that people usually say. So just keep that in mind. Now, in each email afterwards, which could be once per week or twice a month, you will continue to build your relationship with them. You're going to talk about who you are, what you stand for, the things that interest you, what inspires your songwriting. Tell stories that will resonate with them. Connect that to your music. I mean, you don't want it to be so unrelated that they're just like, who is this person? They forget who you are and the music they heard. Connect it to your music. So I'll tell them a story about when I was at a photo shoot and I had made that costume of mine, and I was in the park doing the photos, and I had my big sword out and stuff, and there's like strangers walking by wondering what the heck is this woman doing in the forest. It's like just a public park, and I'm just telling them about that. And so it's giving them a sense of my personality. It's giving them a mental picture of a funny thing that happened, and it's connecting to my culture. Now, if you're able to, you could also at some point offer them a coupon just for hanging out with you in their email. And Bandcamp does offer this feature if you wanted to check that out. Now, how often you touch base with your new fans is going to depend on what kind of campaign you are running. Are you in the middle of doing crowdfunding campaign? Are you in the middle of working on your pre-launch? Are you just working on building a list? I really recommend the latter there. Just work on building your list for quite a while before you even think about doing crowdfunding or launching your next album, because really your entire success is going to be built on that list. If you don't have people to market to, your crowdfunding will flop and your launch isn't going to go very well. You need a huge list of people to market to directly in email. So that's really what I recommend. Now, each scenario will change what and how often you should be emailing. As a general guideline, you would be sending more campaigns if you're in the middle of launching your album or a crowdfunding campaign, and you would send less frequent campaigns if you're just working on building your list, building a relationship. Get them from your email also to Facebook. Really encourage them to engage with you on your Facebook page too, because then when you promote things, you can cross promote on both platforms. So just make sure and just tell them, hey, I hang out every day on Facebook. I'm always posting stuff and I'd love to see you over there too. Objective number 5 is to branch out to other streams of income. Now, once you have all these things in place, it's going to be so much easier to branch out from here, because now you'll actually have people to market to. Now that you've got a real community of people on your Facebook page and a golden email list that you're working on, you can really begin to branch out into the big 5 streams of income that I've talked about with you. Because without a fan base to market all these different things to, it's pointless developing and bringing all these things to the market. Your fan base must come first. Just remember that. Now, I hope you can see by now how growing your own community of like-minded fans is the absolute key to success in the music business. Let's review once more the 5 biggest ways to earn income. And I want you to focus on one project at a time, one of these at a time, so that you can really perfect it one system at a time. Now, each of these 5 things is going to require focus, time, and energy. Really work on one thing here at a time. You might even need to start hiring and outsourcing certain tasks like customer service to eventually help you keep up, because it can become overwhelming over time. The idea here is to create freedom for yourself as an artist, okay? Not to become a slave to your email and all these administrative tasks. Now, I understand as a business owner that when you're first focusing on this, you might need to learn how to do all of it initially. You need to learn how to do it enough that you can give the job to somebody else and tell them what they need to do and how it should be done. But I don't want you to stay there doing this all yourself. You shouldn't. That's not the smart way to do things. Eventually, I want you to start hiring people on Fiverr.com and Upwork to help you manage these administrative tasks so you can actually focus on being an artist. Now, one thing I want you to do is write down the tasks that you must absolutely do that nobody else can do. Okay, so like writing your music, for example. Nobody else can do that. We don't want to hire that out. But I mean, you could hire someone to edit for you. You could hire someone to fix something that you can't figure out. You could hire somebody to help import people into your email list if that's a really time-consuming thing. You could have people answer emails. You could have people. You could hire somebody to deal with your customer service for when you're making CD sales. Maybe you hire someone to ship all your stuff for you. Things like that end up adding up to a lot of hours in a week. I don't want you doing all of that yourself. I want you to consider what you could get someone else to do that would really save you quite a bit of time and money in the long run, okay? Don't be cheap. You know, there's a saying, there's a lot of people stepping over dollar bills to pick up quarters. And so I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to try and save yourself just a few dollars or a few cents when you could hire someone else and it would actually make you more money, because then you can actually focus on what makes you money, which is music itself and building your fan base. That's what you need to be focusing on. All right. So once again, here are the 5 streams of income as part of the 5th objective in your music career. Number 1 is your physical merchandise. I want you to get creative with this, all right? Because t-shirts and CDs and all that, that's a given. What else would your fans like? Check out other bands that are similar to you. Go to their web stores and see what other stuff they're offering and maybe look into that. All right, digital music and downloadable products. What kind of downloads outside of digital music could you offer? Get creative, maybe ringtones, maybe other downloads, maybe B-sides or demos and stuff, voicemail, sheet music. Think outside the box. Number 3, your publishing royalties. Are you signed up with all these organizations? ASCAP, SOCAN is Canadian. Sound Exchange, check them out. There's either CD Baby or TuneCore. They'll collect all your digital stuff. all your YouTube royalties and all that. Make sure you've covered all your bases here. I don't want you to miss out on any stream of income. Number 4 is your expertise and your experience. What do you have years of experience doing related to your music that you could help someone else with? Consider offering some Skype lessons, maybe like a bundle or a package of some kind, Maybe you'd even do something in person like Craigslist. This is about monetizing what you already know how to do. Starting a YouTube channel, talking about something, maybe playing the guitar or something that directs people back to your freemium. You're going to give links in your YouTube videos where people can buy from you or sign up for a free something or other. What are people always asking you about? What kind of questions do you often get? You need to brainstorm those types of things and think, what do people want to know? What do people ask me about in my spare time? That's what you should offer for free. And then that free thing can lead to, lessons of some kind. And then also your virtual fan club. This is what I'm going to be focusing on in the new year. Creating an awesome experience for your fans who want to interact with you, purchase your library music at a discount, get access to your exclusive merchandise and more, okay? I want you to start researching some different platforms, and then you're going to pick one. And then start creating your digital fan club. Now, what kinds of cool things could you offer? I just wrote down a few things for you to consider offering for your club, but the sky's the limit, and I want you to think outside the box, okay? So you could do like behind the scenes type of stuff. VIP videos, photos, let them vote on like your next video location. They can vote on props and photo shoot ideas, that kind of thing. Obviously giving your music catalog is a good one. Google Hangouts, my tribe is what I call them. They love that. Like they get so excited about it. You could even offer like a one-on-one lesson or like a vocal lesson or like a lesson on how to use Logic or like your programming or whatever it is. You could write an original song and dedicate it to maybe a monthly winner or something like that. And also offering exclusive t-shirts or merchandise of some kind, something physical they get in the mail. They love snail mail for that sort of thing. Now, that's the end of this lesson, and I just want to congratulate you on getting this far. This is so much information, and there's a lot of big ideas. But you're here and you are on your way to success. I already know this. I can feel it. I'm interacting with you guys. You're doing such an amazing job digging into this. And I can't wait to see some of your results. And don't forget to hop on the Facebook group and be talking to us about where you're at and what you're struggling with, and share with us your successes too. All right. Talk to you later.